Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am switching it up from the vlogs and I'm doing another video for my Mommy to Mommy segment. And today I'm going to be giving you 10 tips for how to survive as a stay-at-home mom. This video is very interesting for me to film because out of all days, today has been the most challenging day as a mom for me. So it was really hard to actually sit here in front of this camera right now and give you these tips when it's just been that horrible of a day. And that is just how it is some days. But I am going to push through and get through this video. So let's jump right into it. So often when you're on one side of the fence, it's so much easier to think that the grass is greener on the other side. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been a full-time working mom and now I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I've been able to experience both. I can tell you that the grass isn't really greener on either side. Parenting is hard. No matter what, as a mom, you still have to wear several different hats. You have to be different things to different people. There's pros and cons to both. There's things that's similar and then there's things that's completely different. This video is definitely not to bash one or the other. It's just that in my experience, I've had to learn that being a stay-at-home mom is a beast of its own, and it was really a beast that I really wasn't prepared for. Sometimes people have this preconceived notion that being a stay-at-home mom is just easy. You get to wake up anytime you want. It's like you're not commuting to work. You don't have to clock in an 8-hour plus shift. So you must have all this time on your hands. You must have all this energy. Your house must be impeccable. You're gonna have a hot meal on the stove every night. The laundry is gonna be done perfectly folded. Kids are gonna be fed and bathed on their best behavior. You're gonna have all this time to run to your Pilates class, and then you're gonna whisk off to your yoga class, and then you're gonna meet up with all of your mommy friends at Starbucks and just have this grand old time. And then that's not all, because you're a stay-at-home mom. So, you know, after your kids are perfectly and peacefully tucked into bed, you're going to just be this sex tiger for your husband, you know, your significant other, right? Because that's what it's like, right? Because you got all this energy, right? Girl, bye. And if you are one of those people that think that way, go have several seats and get off my channel forever. All jokes aside, being a stay-at-home mom is really hard. Honestly, out of all the jobs that I had, this is the hardest job ever. It is 24/7, 7 days a week. No vacation, no personal time. You don't even get a lunch break. Like, somebody, I need to write to like my local Senate because this ain't fair. It's been a great ride, but it's been a rough ride. So I just want to say that I do realize that I am very lucky and I'm very blessed because I know that I'm not going to have this time ever again with my kids, with them being so little. So tip number 1. Try to make a schedule for yourself. Again, learn the hard way. This was something that I had to learn to do because it was like I went from being a full-time working mom to a stay-at-home mom, and it was just like, okay, what am I gonna do with my day? You know, you don't have a manager or a supervisor over your shoulder telling you what to do. It's just you. Your children are looking to you for everything. They're looking at you like, Mom, what are we doing today? After transitioning from full-time working mom to stay-at-home mom, Carter's schedule, Carter's my son, and at that time I was pregnant with my daughter, Sarah Ellen. His schedule was all over the place. He was going to my aunt's house. She was the one who cared for him while me and my husband was working, and she let him do whatever he wanted to do whenever he wanted to do. Like, he ran her house. The first few weeks were really hard, and after a few days, I was like, yo, I'm ready to go back to work. Like, what is going on? You know, I just didn't know what to do, when to do it. I have a very type A personality. So I had to look at it as, what did I used to do at work? You know, like when you're working, you go into work, depending on what kind of job you have, you might check your emails first, you might listen to your voicemails, return calls, and then you might complete some work from the day before. So I had to really structure my day. Sit down, grab your calendar, look at what you have to do for that week, whether you have doctor's appointments to go to, whether you have a play date set up for your kid, whatever it may be. This might be too much for you, but for me, I felt like it was something that I had to do because it kept me organized. It created a sense of normalcy. And from there, I was able to get Carter on a schedule. And once I was able to get him on a schedule, it made life so much more easier. We don't have a strict schedule, but there are certain things throughout the day that kind of plugs into place, like breakfast and his nap time. And then at some time during the day, I know I want to do a learning activity with him, well, several learning activities with him, and then I might want to take him outside for a bit. So certain things like that. Like right now he goes to Gymboree, so I can clearly look at the calendar, see what things we have going on, and I try to plug in like my house goals, my personal goals, things that I might want to do that week, how I can plug in some time for myself and to get other things done. Having a sense of schedule creates habits, and habits are really good for you and your child. Prior to having a set schedule, like I said, Carter's naps and everything was all over the place, and it was really hard because he would have like crazy tantrums and meltdowns. I would want to take him outside, but I wouldn't recognize the signs of like, okay, he needs a nap now. Like how long after he wakes up in the morning should he go down for a nap? So we would be preparing to leave the house, and then he would have a tantrum, and it was just really hard. That's what leads me to number 2. Don't let bad moments lead to a bad day. So like I said, prior to me putting like a schedule into place and setting weekly goals and things like that, Carter would have crazy meltdowns. He was so used to getting his way with my aunt, and I was just like, okay, you're not gonna run me, I'm gonna run you, you know? So it led to quite a bit of bad moments. And in the beginning, I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I didn't have to deal with this when I was at work. I could go to my office and tune my coworkers out and whatnot. Like, you can't tune a child out who's having a temper tantrum in front of you. It would really ruin a whole day for me. Like, we would be getting ready to go outside and he would have a complete meltdown, and I would just be like, you know what, we're not going outside today, that's it, we're gonna stay in the house. And then I realized like that was only hurting me, because children don't function that way. Children don't hold grudges or anything like that. They have their tantrums, they have their meltdowns, and then 10 minutes later they could be hugging on you and kissing you and being so sweet. I just had to realize like, okay, this is a bad moment that we're having. Don't let that ruin the whole day. Take a deep breath, hit the reset button, and keep going. Just push through. Number 3 is a big one for me. Be prepared to possibly have some uncomfortable conversations about money and finances. And this might not be that big for you, because depending on your relationship with your spouse, maybe you have a joint bank account or whatever. But for me, I have been working all my life. I've been working since I was 15 years old. I'm very much independent. I've always had my own money, and that's just what it is. So my husband and I knew that I would be a stay-at-home mom, but we never really talked about like how we would handle money together, because since we got married, we've always had like our separate bank accounts, and anything that we've had to do for the house, you know, I'd take my money, he'd take his money, and we would pay for whatever we had to pay for, but our money was just kind of like our money. So in the beginning, I had like my money still in my bank account that I had saved up, and then I was still getting like my last few checks from work. I was seeing like, okay, I got money in my bank account. I was still paying the household bills that I was in charge of for a little bit of time, and then slowly money stopped coming in, and I just saw my bank account getting less and less and less, and I was just like, okay, and it got to a point where one month came and I was just like, okay, I can't pay this bill this month. You're gonna have to take over from here with that bill, and you're gonna have to take over from here with this bill, and by the way, my cell phone needs to be paid, you know. And it was really hard. It was really hard. I struggled with it because for me it was almost like demoralizing. Like, I'm a big feminist. Women's studies was my minor in school, so it was just my struggle. My husband was perfectly fine, but he didn't realize I was struggling with asking for money. I'm not used to asking for money. You might have to be prepared to have some uncomfortable conversations with your significant other about money, because you're going to be a one-income household most likely. For us, I remember I wanted to do something and I was in the middle of a meltdown, and he was just like, well, what's the matter? Like, I need money to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. He was just like, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, we have the money, you know, my money is your money. Like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, because I shouldn't have to ask, you know, like, I don't want to ask you for money. So he knows I have like this big personality, and he knows how hard it was for me. So originally he started giving me money like every payday, and I remember the first time he like handed over money to me, we both looked at each other, we started laughing, and I was just like, don't you dare call this an allowance, because I will smack you. Yeah. So we started off doing that, and then eventually he put himself on an allowance and gave me the debit card. So now I have the debit card. I don't have to ask for money. So you might just have to speak with your significant other and find what works for you. But that was like a major thing for me. And that kind of rolls into number 4, like, give yourself credit. In the beginning, as a stay-at-home mom, I felt like I wasn't pulling my part. We had been a 2-family income since we got married in 2010, so I was always used to bringing my end of the money to the table, and then, you know, when money wasn't coming in on my part anymore, I felt like I wasn't measuring up and that I wasn't pulling my weight. I've had to really deal with feeling like part of my identity was gone, and just feeling like I'm only a mom, you know, like that life before me having kids was just gone, and all the accomplishments and stuff, it was like, for what? I just want to say, like, you are pulling your weight. You are the heart of your family. You're holding down the fort on a whole new level. You're taking care of everything. My husband calls me the CEO, and that's what you are. You're taking care of your kids. Who else can do a better job of taking care of your kids than you? So give yourself credit. You are not just a stay-at-home mom. You're so much more than that. And honestly, like in New York City, where we are, childcare is anywhere from $300 to $500 a week, and that's just for one child. I literally would be working to pay off childcare, and for us, that's why I'm a stay-at-home mom, because it just doesn't make any sense. Plus, for us personally, we just don't trust anybody else with our kids. You are a huge contributing factor to your family. So number 5 is, when you look good, you feel good. And I think that's just self-explanatory. Shower on a regular, shower daily. For me, it is very important to get dressed every day. Some days I will throw on makeup, and my husband will come home and he's just like, you went somewhere today, or you going somewhere today? And I'm just like, no. But I don't like for him to come home and see me in my pajamas and stuff. Yeah, I might have on like some yoga pants and a tank top when he comes home. I may not get dressed up. Like, I'm not in the kitchen in my heels cooking dinner when he comes home. It's not that. But it's just nice to be able to get dressed every day. And it just makes me feel human. It makes me feel like myself. They say men are like visual creatures. And, you know, I just want him to come home. And not that I do it all for him, I do it for myself, but I also do it for him too. I want him to come home and be like, damn, my wife look good, she still got it. Number 6 is keep learning and investing in yourself. So this is a big one for me. Like, just because you are home with your kids doesn't mean that you have to put off personal goals and things that you want to get done. If you're able to enroll in a course, whether it be at a college near you or an online course, do that. Like, keep learning, keep your mind going. If you're not able to do that, whether financially or time-wise, it's just not fit, still keep learning. Go to the library, take out books on things that you might be interested, whether it's a hobby that you have, something that you always wanted to learn. Let this be the time where you can be your own teacher. Your kids are going to see that. Maybe you might want to pick up another language or learn about photography, anything, like whatever it is that you want to do. You don't have to wait until your kids are in school or you go back to work to start learning and investing in yourself. It keeps your mind active. It gives you things to talk about. You know, my husband comes home, we're not just always talking about the kids. I'm talking to him about a million other things because I'm always researching things. So when you are in an adult setting, you're not just taking out your phone and showing people 500 pictures of your kids. You will be able to talk about things that interest you and things that you're learning and doing. Number 7 is take time for yourself. This is a big one, ladies. You have to find some time in your day or in your week to give back to you. If you don't take care of yourself, of your well-being, and that be your mental, your physical, and your spiritual. I'm taking care of everybody in this house, but if my mental is not right, if my spirit is off, I'm not able to fully give of myself to my family. That means finding time, whether it's during your children's nap time. For me, it's late at night, and that's kind of been like a pro and a con for me, because if you look at some of my vlogs, I'm always late everywhere. And I'm always saying, yeah, I went to bed really late. Even now I'm filming this video and it is 12:41 a.m. Like, I stay up so late, but my kids are settled at this time, so the house is quiet and I'm able to think, and that's so important. Find time to journal or just meditating or praying or whatever, watching the latest episode of Scandal or Grey's Anatomy. Like, whatever you need to do it. Make sure that you are going to your doctor's appointments. We make sure our kids go to the doctor, but have you been to the doctor lately? Did you eat today? I'm so guilty of this. It'll be like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't even eaten. Sometimes when I find myself really short with my kids and they're really getting on my nerves, I have to think, like, what is going on with me today? And sometimes it's because I haven't eaten. And of course I'm grumpy. And of course the things they're going to do is going to get on my last nerve if I haven't taken care of me. So take care of yourselves. Find time for yourself. Number 8 is another one that I am still kind of struggling with. Adult interaction. It is so important. Being a stay-at-home mom is very lonely, and you will start to feel like you're isolated. Your friends are at work, so you can't really talk to them. You know, my husband, he's at work, my mom's at work, and I'm here, and I'm just like, there's some days where I just need somebody to talk to. But there's nobody, and I'm tired of talking about Barney to my 21-month-old. I've been guilty plenty of days of keeping receptionists on the phone way longer because they're the only adult I've talked to that day. If you're in a church and you can be a part of like a women's group, or there's mommy groups near you that you can join, do that. Right now I'm currently not really into any of those things, so I'm trying to find more ways to get more social into action. And it might not be on an everyday basis. It might just be like once a week. Like for me, I go to my parents' house. Like that's my escape. That's where I get my social interaction. And I got to get it all for the week. You know, I got to soak it all in because during the week it's just hard, and you know, it is what it is. Number 9 is very important, and that is ask for help. And don't feel guilty for asking for help. You have to realize that there's times you can't do it all. When you feel yourself getting low, getting to a low point, know when to ask for help. Don't be stubborn. Another big one is don't compare yourself to other moms. Especially in this day of social media, when you can go on Facebook and Instagram and you might see a mom that looks like she has it all together. Her kids look so happy. She looks so happy. And you're just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, my day sucked. My week sucked. My month sucked. Like, what is this other woman doing that I'm not doing? Like, what DNA does her and her husband have that her kids are so well behaved? Like, what's going on? And little do you know that the picture that she may have posted, like her kids may have given her the utmost headache right before that picture was taken. People tend to post their best moments on social media. So don't think that there's something that you're doing wrong. I once saw this quote on Instagram. I know I'm gonna quote it completely wrong, so I'm just gonna ad-lib. It says something to the fact of, we're all messed up, but like some people just hide it better than others. We're all struggling somehow in some way, but some people just are able to hide theirs a little bit better, and that's what it is. So forgive yourself for the bad moments. Forgive yourself, because there are going to be times that you're not going to be the best mom that you can be in certain moments. You know, there are going to be times when you're going to lose it and you feel like you're losing it, and you might yell at your kids and then you feel guilty, but know when to forgive yourself. When all else fails, there's wine. So I really hope this video was helpful to you. I am so glad that my kids are sleeping peacefully right now, because like I said, today has been rough. But these tips are definitely things that I am still working on. We're all a work in progress. So leave me some comments in the comment section. Let me know if this video was helpful for you. I would be so appreciative if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I hope that you are all having a wonderful day. You are all doing a wonderful job, mamas. So I'll see you in the next video.